Bernie Madoff, you could argue, ruined scores and scores of people. But in your interview, he seems to suggest they should have known better.
Absolutely, yeah. He said that the majority of his investors were sophisticated investors, and they should have known better to invest in his fund. If you recall, he was very secretive about his fund on Wall Street, and nobody was allowed to ask questions, any questions, and if they did, they weren't allowed to invest. And a lot of people invested without asking any questions, and he said they shouldn't have done that.
So prison clearly hasn't apparently made him remorseful. Are there any other ways that it has or hasn't changed him?
Well, it's been 5 years. It's a 5-year anniversary coming up since he was caught. And, you know, he did talk a lot about how he did try to get out of it, but he felt like he was pushed into it by others. And he also talked a lot about how, you know, the banks on Wall Street were complicit in his fraud. He said they knew what was going on, and he could have got caught any time. You know, he said if the regulators had done their job, he would have been caught.
And the personal side of your interview, also fascinating. Bernie Madoff essentially now saying he's got nobody. He's all alone.
That's right. He said he has 300 minutes to speak on the telephone, you know, on the payphone, but he has no one to talk to. Nobody in his immediate family talks to him. His wife refuses to talk to him. His remaining living son won't talk to him. His brother, Peter Madoff, who was sentenced to 10 years in prison in South Carolina, he won't talk to him. And the only people that visit him are his wife's niece's daughters. I think it's called the grandnieces. And they go to a college nearby, but he said he really doesn't have anyone to talk to.
There were a couple other things that I found fascinating in your piece. One, you know, far be it for anyone these days to take investment advice from Bernie Madoff, but he does have opinions on the market today.
Absolutely, yeah. He had a lot to say about it. Well, he said, you know, if he had any money today, which of course he's in federal prison, you know, he doesn't have an access to a lot of money. He said if he had any money, he wouldn't invest it in the markets. He doesn't think it's fair for the individual investor. He thinks that, you know, big firms on Wall Street and hedge funds and, you know, other financial firms have a much bigger advantage than the individual investor. And he also called the Federal Reserve stimulus program the greatest manipulation, you know, in history. So that was interesting. But yeah, he doesn't have a lot of faith in Wall Street, and he doesn't have a very high opinion on hedge funds. He thinks, you know, they should be more regulated. So yeah, he was quite opinionated on that.
And he gets asked about investments all the time. There are people looking for advice from Bernie Madoff.
Right. He said inmates ask him all the time for investment advice, and even the prison guards. And at one point, there was some talk in the prison about him teaching a class on how to invest in the stock market. But, you know, according to him, the prison warden nixed that idea because he just thought that would be bad publicity for the prison. And, you know, you can imagine.